The ceiling is the roof. Let's make it happen.
You're listening to the only podcast that admits they might know what they are talking about.
I hope everyone has a ball.
This is We Might Know Sports.
I love you.
With Kevin. I think it's going to work this time. And Cory.
You should have started reeling because I bit all over that.
And that's just facts.
Where are we at in society today? Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
We like sports and we don't care who knows.
No forget Jesus, people.
Go with a topic Cory might like. I don't even know.
You might like it, Cory. He just doesn't know.
Sounds like something a guy in a van would tell me.
Don't tell me how upset I am.
I felt fine afterwards, and then Yahoo agreed with me, gave me the solid A+.
Buckle up, buckaroo!
I feel like it just destroyed like my life in general.
Steep.
And here we go.
All right. Episode 80, which means next week we're divisible by 9.
That is true.
You
We're
know,
out of the
sometimes
70s, huh?
sometimes I come up with these opens like a day or two in advance. Sometimes it happens when we're waiting for the music to stop. I just can never know. Cory, it has been a while since we've done a show without Stefan.
It has been, actually. That's says more about Stefan, really.
Yeah, I mean, he's working.
He's a part-time
that,
host.
Put that on as our title. What are we drinking right now?
Bud in a Dogfish Head koozie.
There you go. I finished one of these earlier. Where is it? There we go. Torpedo. Oh, sorry. I forgot. I don't know which camera you're going with. More technical struggles, but whatever. We'll work through this.
I figure I don't need to see you. I can hear you.
Can't stop us now. Of course, it helps if I hit start recording. So that's going to be a fun download. Just extra work for me, folks. Nothing I didn't lose. You know, we've got some disappointed fans, I'm sure. I know we were supposed to do all-time favorite sports movies. Unfortunately, unable to do that without Stefan. Well, we could have done it, but
It'll be better with him. We'll get a more heated debate, I'm sure.
wouldn't have felt right.
Yeah. This one we going today will feel more right.
That and Stefan has no idea who any of these people are. So, but training camps are opening in the NFL this week. Actually, today in a lot of places. Big news out of Atlanta. Julio Jones not reporting to camp, wants to renegotiate his contract.
Sounds like Atlanta's going to play hardball with him, too. They're going to let him take the fines on every day missed.
Let's see here. We have, September 9th is Atlanta's first game. Divide that. Carry that. All right,
40 grand a day, right?
Yeah. Let's just do 40 days. That's 1.6
That's 160
million.
Yeah.
So that's going to work out real well for you, Julio. See here. Who do you think steps in? Do you think Arthur steps in and tries to speed the process?
No.
I know
Honestly,
Atlanta's got a tough opening schedule.
They do have a tough opening schedule, but in all honesty, Julio Jones didn't produce that well last year for him to be thinking that he has the upper hand. Atlanta just drafted some young receivers that they're happy with. They do have Sanu, So I don't, and they're like their
Stefan about Sanu.
yeah, they like their young tight end there that they have. His name is eluding me. They have the two-headed monster with Coleman and Freeman. I think Atlanta thinks that he's not as important as he thinks he is.
I kind of get why Julio's doing this because I believe next year, part of the contract, it's a team option. So I think he's just trying to secure his future.
Right. Oh,
So,
I'm sure. Plus, he's older now. I think he's 29.
only going to be making $10 million this year. So what's 1.6 million out of his wallet?
I mean,
Small price.
Yeah, I guess if you can afford it.
Yeah, right. What else we got? Oh, and good news. The Rams announced an extension to keep Gurley through 2023.
I thought that was huge for them. He's definitely a big cog moving forward for them.
45 million guaranteed. So starting to see more NBA-ish contracts with guaranteed money.
Yeah, I think it's important for the Rams. Could be one of those teams for the next 3 or 4 years that we are talking about highly. Them and Philly, they just seem to have a good core, so they might as well lock it all down. And Goff is still on his rookie contract, so they have him for a while. They're just going to have to worry about their receivers.
Lost Sammy Watkins, right?
Yeah. Sammy Watkins. They got Brandon Cooks this year. So I'd rather have Cooks than Watkins as is. And then Robert Woods had a good year last year. I'm sure they'll look to try to lock him down.
And then Josh Gordon, not going to be with the Cleveland Browns early, citing health and treatment plan.
Which I don't really know what that means, but I guess he gets a pass. I know he's struggled with his weed addiction.
You seem very convinced that you think it's a real problem.
I thought I was told that weed wasn't addictive, so.
It's those Democrats, Corey. Let's not get too political here. I feel like I'm missing some other major NFL news that's happened.
Although Beckham's still looking for that contract.
He's showing up.
Le'Veon Bell, we know, is holding out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I haven't heard too much more of what's going on.
Yeah, training camps just.
Barkley, Saquon Barkley got a big deal.
23 million.
Yeah, 4 years. That's for a rookie. That's a nice contract. Obviously, they believe in his durability.
Oh, and you, I think, asked me 2 podcasts ago who I was keeping fantasy football wise. If we have a fantasy keeper this week or year, I think it's not going to be Jameis. I forgot I had Philip Rivers.
You do.
So probably keeping old Philip.
I don't know if you saw ESPN recently put out their quarterback tiers.
Oh yeah.
I think Philip Rivers was in second tier, so it's not a bad keep considering Jameis is in third or fourth tier.
Dak came in as like a third tier, right?
Dak came in as a third. There was only 4 number ones: Rodgers, Breeze, Brady, and Roethlisberger. Not in that order, but
trying to find it. Oh, that's why. Stupid insider crap.
My boy AJ McCarron came in dead last. Proud.
Of course, you got Tom Brady as a tier 1, showing off his bod at the beach, I guess. and getting some criticism for his lack of definition.
Well, I don't think he's ever been a hard body.
Come on, leave him alone.
He's
I
only
wish I had Tom Bod.
When you're the GOAT, you can eat whatever you want.
Well, that's the thing. He's got all these like Brady diet and all these other things that are supposed to be like revolutionize, but obviously not.
Well, maybe it is just diet, and maybe he's brain of the idea that you have to work out.
Yeah, all like weights and stuff.
Yeah, he's just going the nutritional route.
All exercise, maybe. Eat whatever you want. That's what I'm doing. Eat whatever I want. No exercise. It's working out real well.
I'm surprised the NFL isn't calling.
You know, I will say the best weight loss plan was moving, because you're constantly moving and lifting up stuff. And I always forgot to like eat lunch that week.
Yeah,
so,
well, and the stress of the whole move.
No, it wasn't stressful.
It wasn't?
Once you buy a house, like once you sign the paperwork and everything, it's just like, oh, it's not like apartments where you're like, oh, I got to get out of this one, but I got to get into this one. And plus we overlapped. So it was like we had a week and a half to move instead of like a weekend. All about timing. But I did lose like 13 pounds. So I'm just going to start moving my furniture randomly into the yard and back out. And
yeah, tell Shay you're doing an interior remodel.
Yeah. It's called weight loss.
Once a week.
Cleaning the floors. All right. Let's get to... I'm going to play the sound, Corey. I know you can't hear it, so I'll point when I'm ready for you. As soon as I find the
video.
It's time for Corey's NASCAR update. That last car always gets me. All right, NASCAR update time.
Well, kind of becoming repetitive, huh? We got a big three this year. Martin Truex Jr., Kevin Harvick, Kyle Busch. Sprinkled in between, you got Clint Bowyer with 2 wins, Eric Jones with 1, and Austin Dillon with 1. But those other 3 are just dominating NASCAR this year. This past Sunday, Kyle Busch had the lead. Another exciting Kyle Busch on the wrong end of it. Kevin Harvick comes from the back, bumps him. Harvick takes the race. Exciting, smaller track. A lot of people like. Having said that, I'll go over our picks. Stefan took Austin Dillon. He only got him 6 points. You took William Byron, who actually, for him, and I was pretty surprised you got that out of him. Good for you, because I didn't gain much.
Finally.
And I took Kyle Larson, who for him had a bad race, and he only got me 25. Heading into, still gave me the win for the week. I guess I'm at 7 wins now. You and Stefan remain at 6, but I only have 1 winner correct, along with Stefan. Kevin, you still have 3. In fact, I think you got 3 out of 4 races. You got the winners right. So we move on to Pocono, which is one of my favorite races, the Triangle. It's fast, restrictor plate. And that means there's going to be crashes. So I'm doing something risky by taking another big name driver who normally get caught up in wrecks. Take Kurt Busch.
Curdy Bush.
Do we know who Steffen's taking?
No. Not yet.
You are actually taking as well on the faster courses. He's been middle of the road this year for him. Not bad, but not great. Ryan Newman.
I was surprised I hadn't used him yet.
He wrecked for me. Normally I expect more than a 5 out of him. I'm sure you will get more than that.
He got Steffen 19, so.
Yeah. If I take Ryan Newman, I expect mid-20s, kind of like what you got out of Byron. So you probably could get something like that. And as long as he avoids a wreck, like I said, Pocono is known for wrecks.
Just looking at who my possibilities are next week.
The big news, I moved within 100 of the leader.
Dun, dun, dun.
I am currently 99 back from Steffen.
Yeah. Steffen gave up a little ground to me, too.
Yeah.
I gained what I lost, basically.
Yeah, you're 18 behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And with 6 races left, it's still going to be a tough ask for me to come in first or second, really. I have to do a lot of gaining.
Never say never.
Yeah.
You're on a hot streak.
Yeah, well, saving the big drivers. So far it's hit, except Joey Logano crashing at Daytona.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a tight race.
Tight race to the chase.
Yep.
All right. Well, it was a relatively slow sports week. We've got the Open to talk about, but first, the other action was the MLB All-Star, which includes the Home Run Derby, which gotta pull out a little thumb here for Mr. Cory.
Oh, yeah. I forgot we were doing a thumb for this one, huh?
Fresh out of the package.
Perfect.
See? I think your World Cup's still in the package too. Sorry.
That's okay. I'm starting to catch up to Steffen, though, and that's the important part.
That's I'm willing to lose to you.
The Home Run Derby, really, it wasn't a surprise. Bryce Harper was the odds-on favorite, and he pulled through at home. Did you
actually had almost a perfect pick.
Yeah, I only missed Aguilar, which, you know what my reasoning was with some of these? I'll give away my secrets.
Oh.
I went with their size, because a lot of the big boys start to slow down and tire after a little while, a la Prince Fielder. And Jesus Aguilar is almost 300 pounds, and I kept telling myself, you can't take him, but everyone was saying, Rhys Hopkins, he's the big sleeper, he probably won't make it that far. So I believed into the hype when I should have went with my weight thing. And that was a mistake.
Save it for next year, Cory.
Yeah. If you noticed, Hopkins, Schwarber, Harper, and Muncy are all around the 215, 212 mark. That's right about the perfect size for the Home Run Derby without tiring. Harper, though, is known to have a really powerful swing, so there was a lot of worry that he might tire, but he used his timeouts very wisely in the end. I think the experience paid off for him, having done it before.
Yeah. And home field.
In home field, definitely. Yeah, the energy of the crowd.
Mm-hmm. Wanting to prove something.
I mean, he came out like a movie star, wrapped in all those flags, American flags and everything.
America.
His dad was pitching to him. Having
like
said
he
that,
knows.
the All-Star game was like a home run derby. The most home runs ever. 10.
I didn't pay attention.
10 home runs total in the All-Star game.
I said All-Star. What? And then things happen. And mainly to the Yankees. They're 5 out of 5 in their last 10, losing 2 straight to Tampa after Tampa got swept by, I believe it was Miami. Oh, no, they lost 2 out of 3 to Miami, which is embarrassing enough. And then, let's see, Boston's being Boston, 8-2. 40 games over 500.
Yeah.
And we have the Cleveland Indians, 54-45, but they are 5-5. Doesn't look like anyone's catching up to them anytime soon.
No, that AL Central's pretty weak this year.
The AL West is hitting a little bump, making it interesting. Oakland's catching back up, going 7-3 in the last 10 since the Astros and the Mariners are 5-5 and 4-6 in their last 10. So we'll see if those two teams can get 100 wins.
Did you see Bryce Harper's comments on Mike Trout?
About not marketing himself?
No, someone asked him about who the best player in the league is, if he thought it was himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he said anyone that actually watches baseball and knows baseball would know hands down Mike Trout's the best player in the league.
True. And then you have the commissioner basically calling Mike Trout out. That was interesting.
Well, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, basically he was saying that he needs to advertise himself more, and Mike Trout's mainly to himself type of guy. So,
A la Kawhi Leonard.
mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens there when that comes to free agency time, because I believe he's up this year. So
I feel like baseball's a hard sport to market yourself. If you really think about it, like, who's the face of baseball right now? Who's really out there promoting themselves? Aaron Judge, maybe, with his ESPN commercials and stuff. But it's not like basketball or football. Or at least that's my opinion on it. I just feel like I don't see their stars out and about, like on commercials or being sponsored as much as I see NFL and NBA players.
yeah. I mean, it's a harder sport to market too. So,
I mean, I guess it's not as exciting unless people are just blasting home runs, but
yeah. And then in the NL, we have the Phillies. Half a game over the Braves.
Nationals trying to get back.
And Tim Tebow injured for the rest of the season, so no Mets appearance for him this year.
Rumor he could be coming to Syracuse.
Well, I mean, logical step would be to the AAA next year,
right?
Which is going to be Syracuse.
That would be cool.
The Syracuse Mets.
I'll definitely have to go.
Rumor has it they're changing their names to the Syracuse Mets, so there's that too.
Not thrilled about that. But I know they've had issues with the Chiefs name for so long now. Chiefs, Sky Chiefs, whatever.
And the Dodgers in first place after I wrote them out after April.
Thank God. Actually, both my teams are in first right now. Right? The Yankees and the Dodgers.
No, the Yankees aren't in first.
The Boston's in first?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yankees are 6 games back.
Oh, this is last. Must be last week's.
I haven't updated those things.
Okay. Okay.
It's a lot of stuff to type in.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Brewers lost first place to the Cubs, going 2-8 in their last 10, and then the Pirates are coming back alive, 10 in a row, at least.
Jeez.
So, let me click on. Let's find out when they last lost. All right, 2, 8, yeah, 10 in a row. Hot streak. So, I haven't looked at our streak this lately.
You're at a 3, I'm at a 6, and Stefan's at a 0.
And I'm still the overall, right?
Yeah, you're the overall leader with 11. I'm taking my time.
Jose Altuve struggling a little bit now. So be wary.
Yeah, he was the hot pick today because they're playing the Rockies, who are not very good. And that Coors Park is easy.
Oh, yeah.
Hitters Park.
Hitters Park. And, oh, yeah. Gary Sanchez heading to the DL after not hustling yesterday against the Rays.
That'll be momentarily, though.
Yeah.
You know he'll come back.
Tampa actually has won 5 in a row against the Yankees, playing in about 20 minutes against them, keep making it 6 maybe in the sweep.
We know that Yankees pitching isn't great.
Tampa just like finagled their team to win somehow.
You should be happy then.
I think Snell just went on the DL for 10 games retroactively. So I'll be back soon. Probably just miss a start. And I think that should do it with our baseball. Unless you got anything else.
Nope. Not.
We going to have Matt next week?
I don't know about that. He's struggling to even get to New York right now. So.
Good thing we didn't try and get him on this week.
Correct. He's not even up here yet. So.
All right. Well,
I will keep you updated.
On to the Open. I was supposed to have an interview that did not work out. He got sick and lost his voice. So instead, I got him to be a voter on our college football polls. So if Joe comes back, we'll have 5.
Perfect.
Some diversity.
I didn't even realize Jason was a college football guy.
A little bit.
Okay. We'll take a little.
I mean, unless you know someone else we can add.
No, I do not.
But check out Tugger Woods, y'all. Is he back?
I don't know. He looked good.
A lot of people are saying he's back, just for the fact that he hit the lead, I believe, midway through the 4th round, final round. Mm-hmm. And if it wasn't for one mistake, probably would have been in better contention. I think he only finished 2 back. He finished in the top 5.
Yes, he did.
He looked good. It depends on how he recovers, how many Percocet he takes, maybe. But that was the main talk about the
Isn't
Open.
that sad though? The main talk was about Tiger looking good, and we had like a guy who's ranked, I don't know, in the 50s in the world win, and no one cares about that.
Francesco Molinari. Say that.
Congrats, Francesco.
He won his first tour event, I believe, earlier this year, and now he's got his first major.
Well, he should shoot up into the top 30 in the world then here shortly.
Yeah. Who was it? You actually won.
Yeah.
So now we're getting interesting.
Well, what's interesting is the first tiebreak is whoever wins the most majors, correct?
Well, whoever wins gets the right.
So basically,
major.
like if you, Stefan, or I pick the winner right or get the best score next major, that person wins the whole thing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because scoring is just a tiebreak. So if Jason happens to get it, we're going to tiebreak.
I kind of want to throw it to the FedEx Championship for a tiebreaker.
Oh, okay. If that
I don't
happens.
I don't know. We'll talk more with Steph and Jason.
The scores are close too.
Yeah.
I mean, you're within 12 and Jason and I are within 7 of Stefan's score.
Jason, Stefan, the only one not to have someone miss the cut now.
Yep.
That's what hurt me.
Yeah, that's what hurt us. I mean, honestly, if we didn't get those penalties, we'd be right there with them.
I'd only be at 9.
We'll take 10. We get a 10-stroke penalty, right, for missing the cut. So take 10 off of yours, you'd have a 9. Take 10 off of mine, I'd have a 4. And take 10 off of Jason, and he'd have a 4.
So, stupid U.S. Open. Anything with open, screw it.
Well, you took Dustin. You bit on it.
Yeah, and like I said last week, he wasn't gonna make the cut, and look. Next year it's gonna be interesting. They're gonna run. So you got the Masters in April. They're gonna have maybe May, and then they're gonna have the U.S. Open. Wait, no. I think it's gonna be April Masters, PGA in May, U.S. in June, and then the Open in July, and then have the FedEx Cup in August before NFL starts.
That'll be interesting.
And then their season's going to start in October. So, very interesting.
Yeah.
But they're looking for more viewers. Next year, going to be a lot of courses where Tiger Woods had a lot of success at.
Probably a lot of sex at him, too.
Yeah, too. Sorry. It was a Freudian slip.
Freudian slip.
You got the U.S. Open at Bethpage Black. There we go. I believe the Open's at St. Andrews, and then the PGA is what's that course? It's slipping. And then of course you got Augusta in April. I think it's Pebble Beach. Whatever that course is.
Pebble Beach?
Yeah. So, Tiger, maybe not. Experts are saying winning this year, but next year, if he stays healthy, watch out.
Yeah, I mean, I think he just proved to all of us, or the people that were wondering, if Tiger's healthy, had he lost it? And the answer, I think, is no.
Right. Let's go to the NBA brackets we did. Unfortunately, my luck ran out. And the Lakers lost to Cleveland, right?
Lakers lost to Portland.
Oh, Portland. By a lot.
Yeah.
Wasn't even close. I tuned in the fourth quarter.
That was a big thing. Josh Hart, who had been he won MVP of the Summer League,
Mhm.
was ejected in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So that hurt the Lakers.
So no golden thumb passed out for that.
Nope.
And that leads us to... I was not ready. I always forget what I have opens for.
Big Brother.
Mm-hmm.
Previously on Big Brother.
All right, so what happened? And oh, yeah.
We know what happened last week.
I don't want to talk
your number one pick, right?
I think so.
Went
My
out
boy.
there. Yeah. Both our boys,
Winston.
because my number one pick was right beside him.
Yeah. Fucking Kate.
Oh, man. Brett's speech was hilarious, though.
Yes. Maybe a douchebag, but
funny. At least with the Caitlyn
Yes.
one, it was funny. With the Angie thing, not as funny.
no. More drama breaking out as always this summer.
Last episode in particular.
Before we talk about that, we had Winston evicted. Brett called out Angie, Rockstar, whatever her name.
Yep.
And his strategy kind of worked out because she's put a big target on herself.
It did work.
You're disgusting.
It worked. I just don't see why getting Angie out matters. She's not a threat to anybody. I know he just doesn't like her and it's a personality clash, but that's a lot of risk on his part just to get someone out for personality reasons.
I just didn't like how you're sick. You're disgusting. On my child's birthday, all these things, and
yeah. He held strong though. He was like, just own it. Just own it.
Just own it.
Stefan said he's quickly becoming one of his favorite contestants.
I mean, wishes he was on his team.
Yeah. But he said at least for the entertainment factor,
Yeah.
Which I agreed, which is what Scotty feared with Brett. He was talking about he put him up because of his charisma, and he's likable, and he's funny. And he could be tough to beat if he lingers around. And that's what I was telling Stefan on Sunday we watched. I was telling him that's why I picked him. First overall is his interviews. I watched those interviews, and he was likable. That's how he got the number one pick.
Yeah, I thought he was a douchebag. But turns out he is, but a funny one. And one that doesn't paint a target on him. Before we talk about the rest of the drama, we have Sam and Samantha. The Samanthas coming through this week.
Samantha has 3 out of the 4 HOHs.
Yeah. Bunch of bullshit. This is my show. So she's running away with the tiebreaker.
Yeah.
She can
We
have
need
it.
some of her people to get out, which hopefully Sam takes Caitlyn out.
We've got Caitlyn and Haley. However, Sam's power to come back is going to be in play. Do you
There's
follow
just a
any
chance to come.
Yeah. Do you follow any of the spoilers?
I try to stay away just so every
Okay.
episode. Why, you already know who's going?
I just know who, if the
One
on
beat
the
up.
block is the same or not.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Tyler is just I don't know. He's the deciding vote. He's going both ways and somehow has no blood on his hands.
I was telling Samantha I guess this is a little spoiler to our fans. I don't know if we didn't mention that that's what we're going to do is a bracket of our favorite BB players of all time. It's too early in the season for me to put someone up in this season.
Yeah.
But so far, I really like Tyler. I think he's playing a really good game right now.
I mean, if he can go both ways and not get in any trouble.
That's what I think. He's got like this trustworthiness to him, and he always seems genuine, even when he's lying. But
is this going to be that Paul syndrome where it gets to the vote and people are mad?
It could be, and I hope it doesn't happen. I mean, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that when we do the bracket. But that is, I hope that doesn't happen.
We both didn't do celebrities, which I kind of forgot about. But that's fine.
I saw the celebrity, and I actually watched the Big Brother. What was it, On Top?
Over the Top or something.
Over the Top. I watched that season. I stuck to the actual seasons.
Yeah, so did I. I didn't watch Over the Top or whatever, but
yeah,
I didn't include any of the celebrities because I think I'd include Meta and Ross.
Yeah, I liked Ross a lot.
But now he's doing interviews, so
yeah.
And I think they're bringing Celebrity Big Brother back. So
I think, I guess we'll talk more about it. I could keep talking about the bracket. Well, I'll wait till we actually talk about it.
We had drama. JC and Haley, or no, not Haley, Bailey. Too many leaves.
I actually can't wait to hear your opinion on this. Because
how about you describe this?
I guess happened? The situation was Bailey at term you would call him, correct?
You were breaking up a little bit there.
Am I back?
You're kinda, yeah. You're like
hello?
All over the place. Yeah, you're good. I hear you.
Just can't see me.
You're frozen. Yeah. So Bailey and JC were talking. Somehow.
Yeah, am I back?
A little bit. Yeah. Blink twice.
There's a huge.
Whoa. You're skipping all over. Let's see. Oh, there. Now you're scratching your nose and everything. It's kind of.
Am I here?
Yeah.
All right.
Just keep scratching your nose or something.
Okay. I'll let you describe it in case I break up.
So Bailey, who is black, and JC, who is obviously not exactly the tallest person, we're talking about words and not using them. Like, I believe it was midget, and they bleeped it out, which was funny.
I believe Bailey asked what JC would call himself, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I know he said, well, even though he's short and you would think that he's a small person, he's actually not.
Yeah. He's like 5'2".
Yeah, he said he goes, I'm about 5 foot. I'm actually not a dwarf, and I'm not a little person.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into the other part. He said, you don't call people a midget, little people a midget.
It's offensive. And
it would be, he goes on to say it would be similar to calling a gay person a faggot and a black person the N-word, but he didn't say the N-word. He actually said the word. And Bailey became really defensive.
And I don't know. I found it interesting for the reasons, I don't know if you're looking for this or not, but she took offense and was basically telling him not to use that word. And she kept dropping the midget part. And
That was what I was saying. That's what I was hoping you would get at. She was really arguing in circles, which JC knew she was, and you could tell he was getting annoyed with it, but he was trying to be reasonable. But it was pissing me off. I don't know how he held his cool.
Yeah.
She was saying, "Well, you're telling me I'm not allowed to feel offended?" Like, and then she would literally tell him he can't feel offended.
Yeah. He doesn't understand.
Yeah.
A short homosexual Latino has no place, doesn't understand words that can hurt.
I mean, at the end, they were both, had their eyes, and they seemed to pretty much, I don't know, get over it, I guess.
Yeah, they discussed.
They seem like they got past it. So,
yeah.
Really want any of that kind of drama in the house? It's unnecessary. It's still just a game.
Yeah. Remember, folks, it's a game. I hate people. Hate you all.
Yeah, that's what Fessy needs to learn quickly. It's just a game. He gets way too pissed.
Who's he mad at? Oh, Sam.
He's mad at Caitlyn because JC and Tyler are tricking him into thinking Caitlyn flipped.
Oh, yeah. And then he's also mad at Sam because his lady's up on the block.
Yeah. Well, that's another whole situation that got brought up this week. Do you want to talk about that at all?
I don't know what
Sam's
you're talking
speech.
about. Oh, yeah.
Sam's her nomination speech, she says she doesn't like how the boys are being treated in the house.
Mm-hmm.
That the women empowerment and the women in the house are not acting that way and are basically playing a game where they are flirting their way through the game. Kind of leading on to the fact that they're kind of acting slutty, I guess is the way to put it. But the big backlash on Sam's statement is she's all for women empowerment, and then in the same sentence, she just called women sluts. So
the few.
Yeah, I how can you say you're all about, uplifting women and then degrade them?
Yeah.
You really screwed up on her sentence on what she was saying. In my opinion, she should have just said, Caitlyn, I'm putting you because I don't like the way you're playing the game. I don't think she had to go into depth. She got kind of personal and kind of mean.
She's like
they were people
a dictator. Because
people are going to be definitely rubbed the wrong way.
Well, when she got the HOH, she's like, I already have who I want on the block in my head. I can't tell you, so don't try and have a one-on-one with me. If I'm not in my room, you're not supposed to be in my room, and blah, blah, blah. And just went on like this, and I think JC said it at the same time it came out of my mouth as I was watching it. It was like, ooh, Sam the dictator.
Yeah. Yeah, she when she was doing the HOH and she was screaming like hoorah and that stuff, and then how she's as the HOH, I wouldn't be surprised if she has some kind of military background.
Yeah.
Just the way she's so straightforward and very, I don't know, this is the way it's got to be, very disciplined on everything. It just seems like she has a military background.
So we'll see what happens the rest of the week. Tomorrow, forgot today's Tuesday. So
yeah, tomorrow will be, well, for me, the big reveal. You know some of the spoilers.
Oh, yeah. Needless to say.
Well, Bailey's still thing is out in effect. She could actually change the nominations anytime she wants.
I heard about that.
So
someone should be worried. Just saying. It's not me. I'm cool as a cucumber. My people are safe this week. But more important, let's get to the bracket. We finally have a bracket. And I set it up so it's Corey's favorite versus my favorite. In no particular order. I just kind of, I think, unless you threw them in an order.
No, I originally thought I was, but my order has since changed, so it worked out that they're in no particular order. I had to go over some of your guys. I actually forgot them. Actually, just one, and that would be, I shouldn't say some of yours. Just one I forgot, and that was Spencer.
Yeah. I actually forgot about him until I was looking up people. I let Corey pick first. That way we don't have it overlap.
Yeah.
I know you couldn't for my 8th.
I know you couldn't see my timestamp, but I think it's because I didn't share until after. I thought it was funny that you have McCray because he was actually my 8th, and I switched him out with Johnny Mack. But then you put him in, so that was perfect.
Well, I would have put Johnny Mack in. He was my 8th, and then I saw you had him, so I was like, oh, never mind.
It seems to me that we started watching around the same time.
Yeah. I also noticed you have one female and I have all guys. So
yeah,
15 out of 16.
In my opinion, the greatest female player of all time is probably Rachel Riley, and I just don't care for her.
That was before my time. Season 15 was where I started.
I started season 12, and that was the first season she came back on All Stars, and she happened to win that year. And I just, I don't care for her.
I thought about putting Nicole, but I just couldn't take her voice.
Yeah, that's probably, I was debating between her and Rachel and saying who the greatest female player is, but Nicole's right there.
I mean, any vet that can come back and win it with a bunch of new people.
Yeah.
So we'll start.
Well, and it's not to cut you off, but in her first season, she was kind of blindsided and beaten by a really good player who we have in our bracket, Derek.
Yes. And he's part of our first matchup. Derek, the detective, former detective, now author. Season 16 winner versus Frank Udi from season 14 and 18. Didn't do too hot in 18, and 14 came in 7th.
Yeah, and season 14 is what made me really like him. He was put on the block, a record at that time 5 times in a row.
He was not or he seemed more like a dick in season 18.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to. In that first season, he proved to me, and I started to really like him because he was like a competitive beast and kept winning comps and vetoes to save himself. He'd win an HOH when he could play it, so he wouldn't get put up. And then he'd win the veto to get himself off because they kept throwing him up there. He was a huge target. But a lot of people felt like his social game was protected by Mike Boogie, who was helping him out that year because there was All-Stars in that season. And then we saw him again in season 18. They brought him back, and he didn't have someone to protect his social game. And we kind of saw this arrogant, prickish attitude. Still a comp beast, though. And that's why I have him on there. I just love competitors. I have 3 big-time competitors on my list. Frank.
I'm more of a social game.
Frank would be the big competitive guy, and then I have him going against Derek, who may have played the best season I've ever seen. Didn't even get put on the block once. I don't even know how you do that.
Neither does anyone else.
Nor does anyone else. He won some comps at the very end when he needed to. That was huge because he really wasn't a competitive beast otherwise. Just had a great social game. Very believable. Had everyone believing him, kind of like what we said Tyler's doing now. So, having said all that, are we both going to vote on who we pick, or do I just move them forward?
I think we both vote, and we'll use Surrey as the tiebreaker.
Okay. Well, I kind of probably know where you're going, and I'm think I'm going to go in the same direction. Derek with the social game, and he
Yes.
was a winner, so I'll put him in.
I mean, you can't have that early upset with a guy that never got put on block.
Yeah, versus someone who has the record for block being on the block. Are we moving right down my list or going over to yours?
I'll just keep going down for now.
Next one. This one's going to be tough for me. We have Dan Giesling versus Paul Abrahamian. I don't know how you pronounce that. Dan infamously had the Death of Dan speech. Did you watch Big Brother for that?
Season 14.
Yeah.
No.
He was on the block, and he gave this whole speech to the whole. He asked to have a speech with the whole house, and he stood in front of them and said, basically saying his goodbyes, and he was ready to be evicted. And also, while doing that, he started to pick apart every house guest one by one and started to say their flaws in their game and caused a whole bunch of chaos in his speech and miraculously flipped the house to not vote him out that week when it seemed like he was all but done, and got a second chance, and then rode that all the way to second place. So that was huge for his. No one had been in that much trouble and figured out how to get out of it before. So that was a huge Big Brother moment. And then Paul, who's a very recent contestant, you know him well, I know him well. Back-to-back second places, and in my opinion, should be back-to-back winners. He played a better game than both those people, I thought. What do you think of Paul?
Paul is my favorite. I think he should have won twice, and there's always a bridesmaid, not a bride.
Okay, unanimous.
I feel like we're going to be on the same page for a lot of these early ones. At least.
This one we got Victor. He has the record right now for having to battle back in the same season twice.
Yep.
Super impressive. Maybe before I always thought Frank was the greatest competitor I had seen until Victor came around. I think Victor is the comp beast. I think he deserves that title. Vanessa, though, is a professional poker player for one. What was funny is right when I saw her, I watched World Series of Poker.
Mm-hmm.
So right when I saw her, I'm like, that's weird. That's the poker player. I know her. And Samantha was watching it with me. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, she's like really good. She's not a nobody. And we looked her up, and she was the 10th highest earning poker player in the world at that point. So I thought that was odd that a millionaire was trying to play this game and win $500,000. But anyways, she obviously is good at bluffing, obviously good at holding a straight face, but kind of became famous for crying a lot.
Yeah.
Throughout her season. Whether it was fake tears or real tears, I'm not sure. But having said all that, for me, I haven't seen a competitor like Victor before, so I'm going with Victor.
Yeah, I liked how many times Victor came back.
Unbelievable.
I know Vanessa often wore Syracuse sweatpants, but
yep,
the fact that they couldn't kill him ever.
Mm-mm. Vanessa I didn't even bring it up, did play a really good social game and got herself to third place. Ultimately, because she did so many backstabbing things like we saw with Paul, that the person that she was with didn't want to take her to the end.
Forgot about this next matchup. This is the one I was mad at you about. These two.
You like both these two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Caleb, another comp beast. He was a military guy, but he became really famous in the house for telling lies. Like obscure, weird lies. Like he owns like a dog. I don't know, like a dog pound thing, and has all these dogs and all these weird stories that his family was just laughing at that aren't true and just really ridiculous. He also, was it him that sat out a comp and forced Frankie Grande to do it by himself?
Yeah, pretty much, because he broke his trust.
Yeah, because he broke his trust.
Because the football. And Frankie still won.
And Frankie won it. It seemed to me that it proved to be better to do it by yourself and get the hang of it alone.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, that was interesting. I hadn't seen someone do that before. So Caleb is very memorable to me. And then Johnny Mack, honestly, he wasn't great at any one thing, but he, to me, is the most likable, or maybe
very
second.
Entertaining.
Very entertaining. Maybe
Had a
second.
unique laugh, though.
Yeah.
It was like,
Yeah, his laugh was funny. He was a dentist. A lot of people didn't believe that he really was, but he was. And yeah, I just really liked Johnny Mack, so I had to put him on there. He got my eighth. He was my eighth pick. It was between him and McRae, so I'm glad you threw McRae on. Having said that, I'm sticking with the comp people. I like Caleb.
Yeah, Caleb made that season entertaining. It was a very fun season. I think it was season 16. That one, probably one of the better ones. I've got a couple from that season.
Yes, you do.
You had a couple.
Yeah, Victor was in that season as well, correct?
And so was Derek.
Yeah.
So that was probably one of the better ones.
Yeah, definitely.
One of probably my top favorite.
That probably is my favorite season, actually. Now that we're looking at everybody, I started watching season 12, and I'd say season 16 is my favorite.
Then I started on 15, and I mean, yeah, all the drama and stuff.
Yep.
All right. So let's move on to my portion. We got Spencer, season 15, third place finisher, won HOH once, was nominated 9 times on the block. I believe that set the record then. Let's see here.
He was often told he was going to be a pawn.
Yep.
He welcomed it, actually. He started to welcome it. He didn't
was just
mind.
like, oh, well, been here before. Looking at some stats, he won a trip to the Bahamas and $10,000, and only needed to win one veto of the 9 competitions that he participated to pull himself off.
Right. Like I said, he was often a pawn.
And it looks like he was only a have-not once, too. So impressive there.
He also got some fame negatively for telling a child pornography joke.
Yep.
Didn't go over that well, as you'd expect.
His record of 9 nominations was then broken by Victoria from season 16. So
that's season 16.
He was the last remaining house guest to win a HOH. And then last year, Jason Dent, Whistlenut, blindsided when I believe it was Alex went out first.
Yeah.
His teammate, Ride or Die. I didn't like her.
I wasn't a huge fan. She was a good competitor, though.
Yeah. But Jason, easily influenced by like anything, couldn't keep his mouth shut. And I just liked them for his genuineness. So that's why I put him in. Let's see here. 2 HOHs. Was nominated 4 times, won the veto 3. So there's that. And I think I'm going to go with Jason on this one.
It's unanimous. I liked Jason a lot, and he actually proved to be a good competitor. which I was shocked because in the early stages of the game, he wasn't winning. And then he all of a sudden hit his stride.
He felt more confident too, I think, later in the season.
Yeah. This next one is one of the hardest matchups.
Yeah. The Elder matchup, it turns out to be not even mean for this. Let me look up the stats here for Donnie. We have Donnie Thompson, season 16, 8th place finisher. It was funny watching season 16 once again coming in through here. And a lot of the house guests thought he was like an FBI agent or some kind of secret op because it was like too good to be true. Like, who is this guy? Like, he can't be a janitor or whatever he was.
He was a maintenance and grounds guy for a school.
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. One HOH week 6, but was dethroned. I forgot how. Nominated 7 times. Won 3 vetoes. BOTB. What was that? I'm trying to remember.
I don't know.
Battle of the Block.
Oh, yeah. Battle of the Block. I forgot they got rid of that.
Thank God. Was not a fan of that. Let's see here. And then we have Kevin Schollhuber from last season, season 19. Came in 4th. Didn't win a thing, I think. Yeah, 0.
He was awful at competitions.
Terrible. Good social game. Couldn't really tell you what he actually did. Pretty sure.
It said he was a stay-at-home dad, but that seemed code to everyone as a mobster.
Yeah. Just looking at him.
Well, in the way they showed sound bites of him like describing how to like get rid of dead bodies and all this weird stuff that normal stay-at-home dads aren't talking about.
Yeah. A lot of daughters.
Yeah.
For the fact that Donnie actually won stuff, I think I'm going to vote for Donnie, though.
I am too, but because I am also a maintenance and grounds man. So we got to stay together.
I guess that's a good reason.
When it's two really good contestants like that, I don't have much to go by.
Yeah. Pull up James here. But before, one of my favorites, just for he's starting to remind me of Brett this year. Or Brent.
Yes, Brett. Yeah. Zach is a lot like Brett.
I mean, I can't remember his epic speech and who it was to, but he called people out on their shit.
He also had a bromance that was borderline homosexual with Frankie.
Yeah. Hey, you know.
I'm not anti that.
He was very loyal to Donnie. I forgot about that. Him and Donnie.
Very loyal to Donnie and Frankie, really, at the end. Frankie turned on Zach, I believe, and hurt his feelings. Zach
understood, actually. I think.
Oh, okay.
I remember he was like, it was part of the game. I expect to be out week 1. I believe he said in his interview.
Yeah. I remember Zach got really upset, though, when Frankie revealed that he was Arianda's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Having said, why the hell is he here? You know, they come from money, which I understood that argument.
Yeah.
Just like Vanessa being in there, I really didn't get why she played.
Yeah. She just laid back all summer. And she was like the princess, and we should have done worse.
Vanessa's up there with your worst.
Yep.
Even though she's on my top.
Yep. No. Oh, sorry. I was thinking Victoria.
Oh, Victoria. Yeah.
He did win HOH week 5, and I think that's what hit him in. Because then he had a target on his back for 6, 7, and 8.
And he was a good competitor, so people wanted him out anyways.
Mm-hmm. It was unfortunate. He was part of that bomb squad with Devin.
Yeah.
Devin, probably the worst Big Brother player ever. Create something and then go rat yourself out to the other side of the house week 1. That always works.
Oh, God.
Little psycho. Not going to lie. And then you have James from season 17 and 18.
Yeah, he was in with Nicole on her comeback.
Yep. Was one of the members of that one.
He was also an endurance king. He loved those endurance comps.
Especially the wall.
Yeah,
ones.
Infamously, he is, as far as I know, the only contestant that has peed himself willing to go to the bathroom. Apparently he did other things while competing on a comp with just his willingness to not give up.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit on
showmans too.
Yeah, he
with
did.
A really mean witch. And I think that was in season 18.
Yep.
So it didn't get in his way because he came in 3rd that year.
Yeah, I had him in a pool too. If he won, I won money.
Ooh. He only won HOH though 3 times overall, but like you said, the competitions were where he was at. Man, this is a tough one. I'd go with James just because I'd like to play with him in the house.
Yep, I liked that he would scare people. That was always hilarious to me. I'm going with James too.
And then, so we got unanimous there. We have Steve and McCrae, 2 diehard fans.
Mm-hmm.
1-1 and Steve. And the other one, the lowly pizza boy, got a showmance out of it, at least, and a 4th place finish.
But supposedly they are no longer together.
Yeah, whatever. I'm glad. I didn't like her.
I didn't either.
What was her name? I can't even remember.
I don't know. She was like a real estate person.
Yeah, she was a bitch. Not even a witch. A bitch. I don't have their stats pulled up, so but
that's okay. You can just quickly go. We know 1 won and 1 didn't.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Steve on this one, just because I don't know. I kind of threw McCrae in there. He wasn't my overall he's like an alternate for me. So
he was an alternate for me as well. And since I didn't have Steve, I'm gonna go with McCrae.
All right. So we have our first Siri. You're just gonna have to trust me. Yes. Oh yeah, I forgot. Gotta turn that mic on.
Is it Steve Heads?
Let's do this. This will be easier. Steve will be heads.
Okay.
Heads or tails? All right, that didn't work.
I'm not sure I understand.
Yeah, fine. Heads or tails?
Okay, give me a moment. Okay.
God, Siri, you're following. Heads or tails?
It's heads this time.
All right, so Steve moves on.
Yep. So both the people that we took that actually won moved into the second round.
Mm-hmm.
So, having said that, we have Derek and Paul.
Ooh.
Derek, we already said, played 1 season, maybe flawless. And then we have Paul, who arguably could be a 2-time winner and should be.
At least really one.
Yeah, really tough matchup here. 2 really good players. As far as entertainment value, though, and who I enjoyed watching more, I actually liked Paul.
Yeah, move Paul.
Oh, okay. And then we have Victor and Caleb. We went over it. They're two amazing competitors, but I think in a battle of competitions, I would take Victor.
Ooh, I'm taking Caleb. So
Okay, Siri.
all right.
Heads or tails?
Heads or tails?
Tails.
All right. Caleb's moving.
Caleb.
And then we have Jason versus Donnie. Two guys that would be interesting to be stuck in a cabin for a weekend with.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Jason was more blindsided. He was more in the game than Donnie. I thought Donnie was being carried, so
yeah.
I'm picking Jason.
I'm picking Jason as well. I just think he was the better player.
Mm-hmm. And then James, Steve. I struggled with this last matchup. This one, not so much. I'm pulling for James.
Same.
So we got Paul, Caleb, Jason, James. Ooh.
Well, considering I didn't even want Caleb the last time, obviously I want Paul.
Move Paul on. So this is like our pity. Find out his address. Mail him a golden thumb. Hey, I know you didn't win 500K, but
no, I mean honestly, we should give it to whoever the other person is because he loves second place.
Yeah, there you go. Jason and James. I'm gonna take James.
Same.
2 summers of fun with him.
He was just really entertaining and actually seemed like a really genuine guy.
Yeah, and that's why I'm gonna make him my champ.
Well, and I'm going to make Paul mine, so Siri. Ooh. Who's heads?
Paul will be heads. Heads or tails?
It's heads this time.
There you go. Paul with a win finally. We might know sports.
I'm sure he's thrilled about it.
Big Brother champion. It was a highly debated, highly contested. Not really. But I mean,
not really, but
I don't hate it.
I was gonna say they're all people I actually liked. So
this is not like the Marvel and the whole situation.
I liked our final 4. That's fair.
Yeah. I liked who we had.
Yep.
So,
alrighty.
Well done. I think that'll do it. I don't have anything else. You got anything else you want to add?
No, that's good timing because I have to leave here at 7:30 for work. So
see, look at that. Let's
Perfect.
Play the exit music. Next week, maybe best movie. We haven't heard from Stefan. He's been quiet today.
Yeah, we'll see what his NASCAR pick is too. We'll have that put in.
It's abnormal for him. Very quiet. Oh,
very quiet.
Hey, Stefan, watch for a little bit. Shout out to Stefan. He missed fun.
Mm-hmm.
Also, our golf expert said this is nerdy watching you guys talk about Big Brother. So this is our show, not yours. You're just a guest. So deal with it. All right. Let's see here. Looking at the calendar. I think we're talking UFC next week. So I gotta talk to Ben some point.
Big fight, that's Dillashaw Garbrandt, right?
Yep. Uzdemir Gustafsson fight off. So
yep.
I don't even have to worry about adding. We got Cejudo Johnson, or is Stefan like just to call him midget fighting?
Yeah,
well,
I dare him to say that to JC.
Until next time, always cool. That's right, no A-Town.
No. Screw Atlanta and screw Trey Young.
Oh.
Shots fired, Steph.
Shots fired. Oh.